What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Premier Boys Soccer Podcast.
You know what we're doing here, ladies and gentlemen. We're just talking about some soccer nowadays.
So don't forget to like, share, subscribe. We're going to be doing things a little bit different today.
Some
We're
fun stuff.
going to be talking while we can before this new one comes around. We're going to be talking about and rating each Premier League team's transfer market window, summer window, summer
Yeah,
transfer market
each.
window. Yeah,
Well, not exactly each. We did kind
top
of
six.
hand pick. Yeah, top six is how I'm
Mm,
gonna classify that because we don't know who the top six are right now. We didn't exactly go off the top six of last year. I kind of went through and picked some what I'm gonna call key teams for the Premier League. Um, so we're gonna start off. We're gonna go slightly alphabetical, except for one team. Starting off, we're gonna be hitting Arsenal first. First on the list, Declan Rice. I give that transfer alone a B grading. I think it was a solid transfer. He's a good center defensive mid, something they really did crucially need in that team. And off the first goal he scored for his career as an Arsenal player against Man U, I think it is a fantastic start for the man. Um, I kind of wanted him on City. I didn't want to pay the 116 that Arsenal paid for City or paid for Declan. So as a City fan, I'm all right with that on the price. But from what I feel like the outlook could be on his performance, I don't know how happy I am. But time's gonna tell with that. Along with a lot of these transfers, you're gonna hear me say time is gonna tell with a lot of these transfers. But that's just how it is. We all know how it goes. You can't determine somebody's transfer value off of 4 games. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, I mean that's going to be the theme for this entire list, right? Is because it's
For the
only
most part.
the initial things that we know. We don't know what they're going to be like, what they're going to do, how they're going to play in this new system, given that it's only been at this point 4 weeks in
Yeah.
or so, plus the international break for the Euros and all that kind of stuff. So I think a B. I would go a B plus for Declan Rice
I
with
was leaning
potential.
between B and B plus. Yeah,
The
because of the potential, I wanted to give him a B
The
plus.
only
That's
reason I'm
really
not giving him more than a B plus is because of the price. It's a hundred
agreed.
million
Agreed.
pounds. 100 million pounds is
116 million. Oi! And Japan almost just went up 3-1 on Germany. We're watching in the background as well, ladies and gentlemen.
that price tag alone. It sets a tone and it sets a standard for players to play at that level, unless you're from Chelsea. But um, I think that has potential to be an A
Yeah, no, I think by the end of the
from B
season,
plus to A.
I think what we should be doing by the end of the season is doing a transfer window review, kind of
We can
going
hold
over
on to
this
this.
exact
Yeah.
same list and giving them a new grade on how they performed for the season. So keep an eye out for that video as well, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get through the rest of these Arsenal transfers. We got Jurian Timber, a signing, just a flat A. You need the reinforcements in the back line. Yeah, he just got hurt, but again, that could have been Saliba, that could have been Jesus in that back line. You've got a little bit of depth to work with. However, they got rid of Rob Holding, which I will get to in this list, which is going to hurt that depth. So I still give Jurian Timber off of his ability alone as a center back. I give that an A transfer. And it wasn't a fat signing fee as well, which is another part in why I give that an A signing. But I mean, for the most part, they just need that reinforcement in that back line. They're not going to be able to make any kind of title charge, or in my opinion, even a charge for a trophy in a domestic cup. They cannot do that with the lack of reinforcements they did have. And again, they got rid of Rob Holding, so it almost kind of evens out. But Jurian Timber is a much higher level defender than Rob Holding, which is why I think I gave it an A.
Yeah, it's a
I'm
shame that he went down injured. So
I'm kind of backtracking on that A, but I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna stick with it. Next up, I got Kai Havertz. I gave it a C minus, but I'm sorry, I'm giving it a D. Guy's rubbish. He's rubbish. He's not a solid player. He was exposed at Chelsea, and I think Arsenal made a mistake signing him. However, I do trust in Mikel Arteta. So Mikel Arteta kind of sees something in him. I don't know. Maybe Kai Havertz turns out as a good signing for them, but as of right now, I'm gonna give it a D. Give it a D.
I think I'm going to stick with a C. D is a bit harsh. He
I am harsh on Kai. I'm very harsh on Kai.
The thing that's tough is the price tag and his current performances have not led us to get any type of confidence from him,
That's exactly where I'm going with it.
especially against Man United when he just whiffed that one ball. It was just him and the
That was
keeper.
rough. That was
That was
rough.
rough. But
Honestly, I think that singular moment is kind of a. Now, I'm not gonna say a heavy factor on why I'm giving him now a D instead of a C minus, but it definitely plays a part on why I'm giving him a D. That's a big game to be whiffing that hard. You can't.
well, I think what you're seeing with him is the lack of confidence and how much
Oh
that
yeah,
affects players.
trust me, I
He
feel that. I
he has
understand that
not been doing much since.
since he came over to England.
No, that's not true because towards the beginning of his Chelsea career he was doing okay, but in recent times his recent form has not been the greatest, and I think that that is what we're starting to see is a player down on his
Can you go
confidence.
handle that whenever you're done eating? Yeah, it's Gouda being trapped in the fucking cupboard.
Oh, gotta love cats. Anyway, I think we see what Kai Havertz does at Arsenal. Does Mikel Arteta find and unlock his true potential?
That's what I'm thinking. Is I think
Because when he was playing in Germany, he was phenomenal.
I think if you see good shades of Kai Havertz again, it's gonna be under Mikel Arteta at Arsenal. I think that's about the only chance you really have, at least for the right now moment.
Until
He's still young. He's only 24, 25. He's younger than
he's
me.
still young.
It's hard for me to look at a guy who is younger than me, knowing that I still have athletic ability in my body, and he's a professional who trains that athletic ability. You know, that's a very heavy factor in how well was that Musiala on a break? No, I think seven. I think seven Musiala actually. Um, was Sane. Come on, brother. Still want to see him perform well. Still always want to see Sane perform well. But
He did score.
is that who scored it for them? I
Mhm.
missed it. I missed
Yeah.
it. Well, good.
That was a way. Great
Oh
defending.
man, yeah. If that defender wouldn't have had such a good track back, he would have had at least a shot on goal. I think this was This was their last goal for Japan. It was a bad mistake on. I think
Schlotterbeck, I think is.
yeah, because it wasn't Rudiger who gave him the mistake. He tried to recover from it.
Yeah.
It was definitely Schlotterbeck. Anyway, let's get back on topic. So now we're gonna go with the outward transfers and grading those a little bit. I did pick a handful of outward transfers for each team as well. Florian Ballgrum. I don't think that was a smart let go. Simply for the fact that they do need that pure striker substitution. They need Gabriel Jesus is out right now with an injury, and he's slightly injury prone.
He just came back. He played last week.
No, yeah, well, okay, yeah,
He's
okay,
not,
yeah,
maybe not
mistake, yeah.
100%, but
He's a bit injury prone overall, though. However, hang on. Hey, why are you over?
how did he get up there?
Cat, get down. Get down.
The life of a cat owner, ladies and gentlemen. Dude is a mess.
I'm sorry. You think I'm supposed to be in there, brother? Come on. Sorry. Cat things.
You're good. You gotta
Cat
do what you gotta
things.
do.
Dad things. Anyways, as I was saying,
Balogun.
I think they could have used him to hold on to and maybe test his potential a little bit more. Am I a little bit more lenient on that one because he's an American? Well, a French American. Yeah. Yeah. Do I want to see the American get some play time in the Prem? Absolutely. So maybe that definitely had a play in my grade for that, which was a C. I don't know if I mentioned that. But yeah, no, he could have been useful for depth alone, but I do understand the club's decision on getting rid of him. And he's going to get more play time out of this as well, so it's beneficial for him as well as a player. Kieran Tierney, that's a D. Club captain, what, 3 years ago? Two? I think that, and he's only out on loan as well. Maybe let me make that clear. He's only out on loan, so I still give it a D, even though he's out on loan. If it was a permanent transfer, straight F. Straight F. Kieran Tierney is a solid outside back in my opinion. and could have definitely played a role in this Arsenal team with Tomiyasu being injury prone the way he is, also being injured right now. Y'all need that depth in those outside backs, in my opinion. But I do have faith in Mikel Arteta, so it's I view it as a win and a loss on that one in a sense, as in it could benefit them or actually very much hurt them.
This next grade that you have is very interesting to me.
And Nicolas Pepe,
Yeah, the fact that you gave that a B.
so I gave it a B for the fact that they got rid of him.
I give that a straight F, all around from
I give
when they
it
signed him,
n-
how he performed,
no, 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 no,
and
no,
getting
no,
rid
no,
of
no.
him.
But that's not what this grade is. The grade is what do you grade that? Getting him out of there.
F.
Okay, so because he performed well and they got rid of him, you gave it an F, or because he performed well while he was with the club and now they've gotten rid of him and not made much money.
I give them an F because they bought him for 90, 80 some odd
80,
million pounds,
82, I believe.
and they sold him for 3. That is an F.
That is an F, but that is
That is
on. That's on. So let me make this
I
a
know
little.
where you're getting at. I
All
give
right,
that
all
an
right.
F. No
Fair
matter
enough.
how
Fair
you
enough.
flip it
No,
on me, it's gonna be an F.
I can
I know where you're going because
understand with that.
technically, yes, it was a prior transfer market, and we're just talking about this one. But all around, that Nicolas Pepe signing for Arsenal has been an F since the beginning.
I'm not gonna disagree with that. I see where you're coming from. Now I gave it a B for the fact of get him the fuck off your books. He doesn't play. He hasn't been at the club for a year. There's no reason for him to be associated with the team anymore. If he's not a part of the plans, let's end that saga. Let's be done with it. Now I will say he had a lot more goal contributions than not only Jadon Sancho, but Antony so far. If you put both of their goal contributions together, goals and assists, Nicolas Pepe has more.
Which is interesting because I think Jadon Sancho, I feel like isn't necessarily a fair comparison just because of the fact that he hasn't played. He doesn't play.
There's a reason.
Right, but I'm saying he doesn't play enough to be like where Nicolas Pepe played, I think, a few more games. Whereas Antony has started just about every single game. And so what he's done is score
Good
like
finish
one or
by-
two nice goals.
Good finish by Sane.
Good finish. So
Class.
the fact that I think it's a more ridiculous comparison to compare Antony and like a more like whoa that's crazy to
No,
compare Antony.
well,
with
you got to
Nicolas
imagine
Pepe.
you're talking about one season and one season. Anthony's had one season. Nicolas Pepe played one season.
Yeah, which is ridiculous. 80 million. 80
I
million
think
pounds
they got their neck slapped out the gate with that 80 million. I think he should have been no more than 40. 50 because of the way the transfer market works in today's world. And that 50 is very lenient in my opinion.
Regardless,
but with the fact that he's had more goal output than both Jadon Sancho, who was supposed to be at the time of his transfer,
yeah, he was
the best
hot stuff.
English player. He was supposed to be it for England, and he is. And honestly, I'm gonna sidetrack onto Jadon Sancho as a whole for a second. I'm fully on Ten Hag's side. He has had issues with the way that he handles authority and discipline since he was on Man City's academy. I've dove into it. He had issues with the manager then. The reason he left is because Pep brought him up for a preseason tournament and dropped him at halftime. It's preseason, bro. You're getting those younger players time in. Even if you are a young player, you can't expect to play the full 90. That's a chance for other people to get their time in. Then after that, you know what he did for Borussia? Great player. Got taken off at halftime while they were winning 4 or 5-1. It was a done game.
Yeah, it's pretty much a match.
And he came out and talked about how he was a scapegoat. He loves that word. He loves the word scapegoat. Because now he's Man United's scapegoat.
He did use that recently.
In my opinion, Jadon Sancho is nothing at this point. I'm not going to say nothing, but for the most part, nothing more than a prima donna. Spoiled little bitch, for lack of a better word. He's a spoiled little bitch. And I like Jadon. I like the way he plays. I like his skill. I like his flair on the ball, confidence. But the confidence has not been. Confidence has not been there for a while now, and I think Jadon Sancho, which we'll get on to Jadon. No, we won't get on Jadon Sancho.
Nope.
He's still a Man United
He's still
player.
at Man United.
I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to touch back on this later when we get to Man United. But Nicolas Pepe, I'm going to stick with my B rating.
F.
Tyler, straight F.
F.
Understandable F as well. I understand where he's coming from. Overall grade for Arsenal for this summer's transfer window, I give him a B minus. I think it was an all right transfer window. And for the teams we've got, I don't really have too many low grades. But I give him a B minus. It wasn't a bad window, but it was more of a good window than it was a bad. C is kind of that mid ground, so they just kind of snuck above that.
Just slightly above.
Honestly, I'm gonna change it to a straight B. Arsenal, I give them a straight B for this transfer window. Yeah, off of averages, it does not play out like that.
I like that B minus. I'm sticking with the B minus.
Fair enough. All right, next up, Aston Villa. I'm actually pretty excited to talk
Aston
about
Villa
these guys.
Had really good.
They had a
really
solid
good
transfer window.
Transfer
First on the list, Moussa Diaby. By far the best signing of this window for them, if you ask me. A plus out the gate. Electric winger. Has been getting deployed as a 10, which I'm finding very interesting because I like him as a 10. He's quick, he's fun on the ball, and he can find passes as well as shots. So I think not only deploying him as a 10, but just getting him in general, A plus. A plus.
From what I've seen from him, I think he's going to prove a great signing, and I think he'll do really well at Villa. I don't know if I would go A plus. I think I'm going to go A.
Fair enough.
But I think he's a great signing. I think he's exactly what they need.
And this one, Pau Torres, courtesy of David Watson, gave me a reminder on that one. Rest in peace, my boy David Watson. I give him a straight A. He's a solid center back. Solid Spanish center back. And I think that the fact that I know for a fact he's got better ball control and just ability on the ball than your average center back that's from England. Because that's how the Spanish players are. They just have that touch on the ball. And I think him and Douglas Costa are going to be a fantastic pairing once he gets a little more integrated into the team. So straight A on my prediction, not prediction, but grade.
I don't know much about him, and I haven't seen him play. So I'm gonna have to stick with just a B rating and just kind of give him the benefit of the doubt and give him the upside of potential A rating eventually. But I haven't seen him play enough, so
I'm actually really excited about this one too. Nicolo Zaniolo. Fantastic player for Roma when he was there. However, I give him a B minus. Because of the saga that ended his Roma / Zent. I think he went over to Russia for a little bit. Maybe it was Galatasaray. It's Galatasaray, I believe. I believe it was Galatasaray. He went over to Galatasaray on a loan because he was bitching about wanting more money from Roma. And they were like, well, we don't value that. Shipped him off to I believe, Russia. Now he plays for Aston Villa, and I think that with the position that he plays, kind of that center attacking mid, center forward, maybe a little bit on the right wing, I think that's a great pickup. It's a good second half substitution for Diaby if he needs it. Good starting position in that center if they need it. And I think Zaniolo has a lot of potential as a player. I think he just needs to keep his head in check on where he is as a player. I think his head got a little big this last summer or two. And I think that's why he had the issues he did with Roma. But I've liked Zaniolo for a long time, so I'm hoping that he has a good spell with Aston Villa and kind of gets his name back out there.
It's the perfect club to do it.
Right now, I think
looking phenomenal. I mean, except for the loss that they got handed to recently, but they've been looking explosive. They've been looking good, and it is a very good team to. Yep, don't do it. It is a very good team to really prove yourself.
It's not only a good team to prove yourself, but I think with the manager they have right now within please help me.
Unai?
Oh, thank you.
Emery.
Unai Emery. I think with the manager they have is Unai Emery right now, I think now is the time to get involved with that team. With Unai Emery having a year under his belt with that team, he's kind of understood what he needs, understood what he wants to do, and if he's picking you for it, I think that's a good sign. So I'm happy with that B minus rating. I think it's a decent signing for them. Yuri Tillemans, flat A. Fantastic
Flat
midfielder.
A.
No, not a chance he was going to be staying in the championship with
No,
Leicester.
no shot.
So somebody was going to grab him.
Leicester did get picked apart.
I did not catch what that price was for him. I am realizing I did not catch what price it was, but I can't imagine it was too much because typically the ones that are a little overpriced, I'm catching out the gate. Even if he was a little expensive, Yuri Tillmans is 24, 25, I think now. Fantastic midfielder and can improve, and especially under a manager like Unai Emery, I think he's got a bright future ahead of him at Aston Villa.
Yeah, I think it's a really good environment for him to be in, for him to continue to play in the Premier League and continue to push himself and maybe even emerge as a leader at some point, depending on how things play out for him.
I think he eventually carries that captain role. I think he's got that captain armband within 2 years because I think he finds a good life at Aston Villa with Unai Emery, with the people they've already signed. That's one of the teams I'm most excited to see how they turn out in the next 2 years. Weirdly enough, along with Chelsea, because if this Chelsea project that they're doing doesn't work out in 2 years, you gotta scrap the whole thing. You gotta sell every player. Gotta sell Todd Bowley and start from fucking fresh.
You gotta sell.
I don't know how you sell your owner.
Sell your owner,
but you gotta find a way, Chelsea fans. You gotta find a way. If it doesn't work out in 2 years, please, for the love of God, find a way.
If you need some advice, Chelsea, go to Manchester United, where they will laugh.
Clearly, don't go to them for advice because
they will laugh in your face and say, "Good luck. You can't get rid of the owners. We've tried."
Oh, that's what you meant. I thought in the sense of getting them out. I was like, bro, they just did a whole protest where they sat in the fucking stadium.
Exactly.
That did not work.
They legit shut down.
And Man United straight up just took, or the Glazers just straight up took United off the market. Yep. They said, we're not selling them.
They had some really good offers, too.
Do you think that affects the energy of the players of the club through this season? Do you think Ten Hag can keep everybody's head on the right path?
I think they can keep everybody's head on the right path. I don't think it necessarily affects.
Disagree.
I don't think it affects the players as much as it affects the fans. Like it affects players. Okay, don't get me wrong. I'm sure there's a little bit in there, but from a professional perspective, Ten Hag and the players are too focused on their goals for the season.
You have to be
that they're not necessarily indulging in that as much as the fans are. And if anything, it probably does them a little bit. It probably helps the players that they currently have in place because it means they won't be getting replaced anytime soon. So,
I like your take on that. I agree with it. But damn.
But yeah, it would have been
just
nice
a rough project to watch.
To see the Glazers out and see everything revamped. You know, and actually have some money and investment back.
It would have been interesting to see how it played out in the Prem. If they would have had a whole new system / style of going about their business. I think it would have been healthy for the club and also healthy for the Premier.
Well, not only that, but they need to upgrade their facilities. They need to upgrade their training room. Like everything could be upgraded. I mean, based on what Ronaldo was saying on his way out, he said that everything looks the same. And if that's the case, that's unacceptable.
No, I completely agree. You're way too big of a club to not make some serious advancements in 15 years?
I mean, look at Tottenham's. We saw it in what was the name of that show?
Wow, the Amazon one. I know you're talking
Amazon
about.
one.
Wow, dude.
All or Nothing. All or Nothing.
Yeah, there it is.
So in All or Nothing for Tottenham, you saw their facilities. You saw what it looked. It was beautiful, very nice, well kept, very modern, very updated. Who knows what Manchester United, even cities, phenomenal ground.
Well, yeah, you would expect it to be. We have too much money to not have phenomenal training grounds. If we didn't have top tier,
is not making a good impression on his run for becoming the starter. But anyway, going back on track with Aston Villa's transfers.
Get back on that. Clermont Lenglet. I give it a B+. That's a little bit extra depth for that back line, as I was talking about earlier, and I was not against him on City. I don't think he stood up to our quality, especially nowadays. But he did what he needed to for us. He got his loan to Barca, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah, Barca. And now I think he's finding himself a good home in Aston Villa. And when I say good home, I mean a solid team for him at his level, the level Aston Villa are currently at, with the depth that they do need, the backup they need. I think it's a solid signing. I almost gave it an A, but I'm gonna leave it at a B plus.
It adds a little
I'm
bit
gonna leave it
of
at a B plus.
seniority
Yeah,
into that fairly young team.
it is a pretty young
So
team.
I think it is a good signing. I'll stick with your B plus.
Hey, and then Felipe Coutinho. I gave this transfer an A on him out. Why? He wasn't playing much and he wasn't performing. He was bringing in a lot of money for himself on their salary wage, their salary budget. Sorry, um, got some money back out of him too. I think that's a smart sell.
See, here's the difference between this signing and or this out of Philip Coutinho compared to Nicola Pepe is Aston Villa somewhat got their money's worth, whereas Arsenal just straight next left.
Yeah, 100%. I completely agree with you on that.
Because what they
Completely
did,
agree with you on that.
they sold him
100%.
to the
Saudi.
Saudis,
Yeah, and
which is an
then what do
easy
they have?
scapegoat.
Oh,
Infinite
there's that
funds.
word again. Scapegoat.
So the
That's the
Saudis are
word of
like
the
your
day.
get out of jail free card for any type of bad business that
I
you do.
don't disagree with that. I
So
think they are a good get out of jail free because they want any players with any bit of
with the name, they want
yeah, a
players with the
name.
name.
Yeah, I was trying to find another word, but yeah, with a name,
Yeah.
with some kind of following. I think that's the biggest
Mhm.
thing for them, the Saudi league right now, is that they're trying to find the people that need a place to go where they can perform that have a good following.
Mhm.
And Coutinho definitely has a good following.
So I definitely agree with that A rating. I think they did it right. This is a good example of how you should have handled it, and Arsenal are a good example of how you should not have handled it.
I'll agree with that. I'll agree with that. I like that
So
take on it.
I don't know if any Saudi team was looking for Nicola Pepe, but hey, what it is what it is.
I gave Aston Villa an overall grade of A. I think they handled their transfer market beautifully. I think they made pickups where they needed to, and they offloaded only the people they needed to sell. I straight A. I'm almost tempted to give it an A plus.
They had a really good transfer window.
Mm,
I'm gonna stick with
I
an
don't think I
A,
have an A plus.
but
I
A
think I'm
plus
gonna
is
give them
hard
an
to
A
come
plus
by.
actually.
A
I'm
plus
gonna
is
give an
hard
A
to come
plus.
by. Hey,
Yeah, I think they're my only A plus transfer window.
Germany just do not look good. Anyway,
No, they don't. They have not looked good for, like you said,
the
since the
2014 World Cup.
2014 World Cup, man. It's been rough over there. It's been rough to y'all. Neither of y'all look Japanese. What the? Sorry, that was ignorant of me to say. You can support Japan if you don't look. If you're not Japanese, you can support them. Jao Pedro for Brighton.
Oh,
That's our first one on
right.
the list for
Okay.
Brighton. Brighton's a fun one. I'm very excited to go over this list. I give it a B. I think Jao Pedro is a better forward than some people give him credit for, and I think you're gonna see him find some form for Brighton under De Zerbi. And I give De Zerbi a lot of credit for a lot of these transfers in the sense that they will find form under him.
Mm,
So I give it a B. It's straight solid B.
okay. I'll probably stick to your B. I've only really seen him in action for one game, and he definitely got some opportunities, and he was causing a he was a
It
threat,
was it was a
causing a
little
problem.
bit of a menace.
He
I
was a
know
bit
what
of a
game you're
menace.
talking
Yeah.
about. Yeah. Next up on the list, Mohamed Dahoud.
Dude.
My boy David is a lovely fan of Dahoud. Oh, Germany with a great turnover though. Oh my goodness, and they just shit the bed right away. Come on, Germany. Yeah, man, I give that a B plus. Give that a B plus. Dahoud's already shown a little bit um of profit for Brighton and his performances, if you ask me. I believe he's already got a goal.
Hmm.
I believe he's already got a goal.
I did
Could be
like him.
wrong.
I did like him at his time at Dortmund. I have to see a little bit
That's where he
more.
came from.
Yeah,
That's right.
Dortmund.
Thank you.
I have to see a little bit more from him to be comfortable with giving him a B plus, but I'll take your word for it.
B minus was almost my grade because I haven't seen enough, but I honestly,
I'd give him a B
I it,
over.
I think half of it is I just have so much faith in Brighton's scouting
Hmm.
team. Is that like if you're signing a player, all right, yeah, I'm immediately interested in watching how he does because they have not missed this, dude. They have just been on with every fucking player for the most part, obviously.
That's actually something I wanted to bring up, and I wish David was here to have
Oh,
indulge in
you
this
already know David
conversation.
would love this conversation.
Who do you think has the best scouting of any team
Brighton,
in the world?
Brighton, Brighton, Brighton. They signed Moise Caicedo for $4 million. Sold him for 160. Brighton.
I'm torn between,
They signed Alexis McAllister for $2.
and then he just happened to win a World Cup, and he was a great player.
They're
But
lucky they had a fucking release. I'm sorry, Liverpool's lucky they had a release clause on him, because they would have been playing 80 million plus.
oh, 100%, 100%. I'm torn between Brighton and
Cucurella.
oh, well,
Bro.
Chelsea
They are
got their
just.
next slaps.
They're out here just cashing in on the Premier. Whoever owns Brighton,
Oh, they're making bank.
whoever owns Brighton, are laughing at every single transfer that they make. Whether it's an inbound or outbound, because they're laughing at every inbound going, you're going to make me $78 million. What fucking player makes a team that much money on a regular basis?
It's very
Anybody
consistent.
who gets signed by fucking Brighton, dude.
I will say Dortmund are right up in there. So I would it's a toss up between them two in my opinion.
I think over history, it's got to go to Dortmund on
I
that
agree.
sense.
I agree. Yeah,
The history of it, but I think Brighton's really starting
they're
to
starting
kind
to
of
make a name
make
for
that
themselves.
history, if
Yep.
you will.
Yep.
Let's get back on to some of the signings. So, James Milner is my next one for Brighton. I give it a C minus. I give him a C minus because on the positive side, they need that experience just in the club. Not necessarily in the midfield. Yes, it helps in the midfield a lot. That's one of the most hectic areas of the field as a player. I would say the most hectic area of the field as a player. So if you have somebody with that experience that James Milner has, which is a lot of experience, I think it's a good signing on that point. But I think what he can bring to the team outside of that, not very much. Not very much. I give it a C minus for that.
I give him a
But honestly, no, I'm gonna change that to a C, a flat C, because of the experience that he has as a player. But where are you gonna say?
I'm teetering on the edge of a B minus to C plus because
I feel that.
of
I
the
feel that.
experience aspect that you mentioned. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
James Milner is an absolute dog.
He fights
And
for his team. He fights for his team. He goes
leaves
out
it.
there and
He
performs
will
for them.
die on the pitch. But well,
I
not a
agree with
but. He I think he provides a little bit of relief in that central midfield position. I don't think he'll get much playing time. He'll see the pitch every once in a while. I
I
think
don't
he's
think
gonna
so either.
more so be a second half player. But I
Yeah.
think for that purpose alone, being the fact that he's gonna be a second half player, that's not a bad second half player to bring
No,
into.
no. I
To
think
be more of
that's
like a
yeah,
holding
yeah.
midfielder.
No, when you say he is a dog, that's the best way to describe James Milner, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
honestly, I'm gonna change it to a B minus myself. I'm gonna change that transfer to a B minus myself, which might end up slightly changing my overall grade for them. Ansu Fati, A plus. A plus, Ansu Fati, great loan move.
See, you and David are very high on Ansu Fati.
I love Ansu. Love
I
Ansu.
loved Ansu pre first injury.
I
And
understand where you're coming from. I understand where you're coming
then
from.
over the span of what feels like 2 years, he's kind of
Nah,
dropped off.
I don't think it feels like 2 years. I
I
think
think
it
it's
is
been
about 2 years.
he's kind of dropped off. He doesn't look quite the same as he did when he first came on. And maybe he finds some new form under De Zerbi here at Brighton. Maybe this loan move is what revitalizes him. The only issue I have with it is the fact that it was an injury that is the cause of his lack of performance. And that's tough because that is 90% mental because of the fact
I
that you're
disagree with it. It's 90% mental. If it's
it
a
is
serious,
90% mental.
if it's a serious injury, and this is just my opinion, if it's a serious injury, you can get over that.
Yeah, but how many NFL players do you see getting their ACLs torn and they come back the next season and they're fine?
All
It's
right, fair enough, fair enough,
it's
fair enough,
it's
fair enough.
mostly a
Yeah, I
mental
see where you're
thing.
coming.
It's
Yeah,
it's the majority. Like, sure, yeah, I'm sure that the treatment that they've been getting is phenomenal, and that helps.
yeah, obviously.
But from experience, for example, my ankle, I thought I was completely like done, right? I didn't think I could play. And then I come out of BT and I'm like, okay, this is not bad. And then I go out on Thursday night and I'm playing at like 85%.
Really?
And I realize I'm like, shit, this is
Which
all just
ankle
my
is it?
right one.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, so
Mm.
this is it was just me telling myself thinking that I wasn't okay, but I'm actually a lot better than I thought. So like my point is, it's the fact that it's an injury related
I do
different sport.
understand the injury coming into play with a player's mental confidence on
Yes.
themselves because I even as a former wrestler, like I came off of an injury after my sophomore year, and my very first match as a junior, I went to go do something, and my arm got pulled up like this, and I was like, nope, nope, and I gave up a takedown because of it. I was like, I'm not trying to risk my entire season because of
Exactly,
it.
exactly.
So
So
I
it's
understand where you're coming from on that.
along the same lines. But hey, like I said, I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't give him an A plus. I'd give that a B.
Me personally, I'm a big fan of Ansu Fati. I've been a big fan of Ansu Fati since day one. So I think I gave him a little bit of lenience because I'm also very excited to see how he does in the Prem.
Mm-hmm.
I think he
Yeah.
does really well with the way that he plays if he can find that confidence. And
Yeah.
it's not so much the form, but it's the confidence
Yep.
for Ansu Fati in this position. You're coming into a new league, a new culture. It's gonna be a bit of a shock. What is he? 22? 21? I don't even.
20.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't even think he's 21.
I think he's 20.
Yeah, he's 20 or 21. I'm pretty sure. That's hard to do, man. To walk into a completely different culture and just expect yourself to perform at the normal, and
Especially
especially in like
immensely difficult.
one thing I think that people don't talk about enough with transfers is the weather difference, man.
That's
As a
exactly
person
what I
who
mean.
dealt with that shit going into college, I went from dealing with it's always sunny in Florida, not an it's always sunny in Philadelphia reference, but it's literally always sunny down here. And then I move up to a college that is just gray, depressing, sad, and negative 60 degrees Fahrenheit for 3 months. That shit hurts. But I don't think it's as drastic of a change that Ansu Fati is dealing with in that sense. But I think with the right people around him, in the sense of De Zerbi and his teammates, I think he can really, really, really flourish for this Brighton team. So I am still very excited to see him play. I'm cannot wait to see that man touch a Premier League pitch for the first time. Now let's get to the outbounds.
Now this is a very interesting
This
rating.
is yeah.
This
Now
is a
I'm
very
excited to talk about the outbounds of Brighton. First on the list, as I think anybody would expect, Moise Caicedo. I give that an A transfer selling.
yeah. That's very weird to me that you have that as an A.
So much money, dude. So you're
I
talking 100 mil profit on a singular player off of one season.
I disagree with your A rating.
Let me hear it.
I would give that a fucking O because that like and whatever above A is, you just
Oh,
slap.
I thought you were talking under F. I was like,
No,
damn, he's
no,
really on
whatever
the
above
opposite end.
like outstanding, whatever above A is, like A triple plus,
I
whatever.
I hear you
Dude,
there.
you
I had no rating of above A.
Chelsea got
Well, A plus. I give it an A plus. Sorry, not a
absolutely neck slapped by this transfer.
Absolutely.
And Brighton are just sitting back there rolling in the dough. They spent almost nothing on him. They sold him for
4 mil. You're talking $112 million for a human being.
insane.
Nobody got that off the Slade trade. Sorry, that was terrible.
Insane. It's an insane. That's why I'm giving it an A plus plus. And you see him at Chelsea, and he's like half the player that he was at Brighton. And so, I mean, part of
Is
that
that
is
Moise Caicedo or is that Chelsea or is that Brighton?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's a little bit of
All
both
three
between Chelsea
and Brighton.
and Moise Caicedo. because it's him adjusting to the new system and the new team. But here's the problem is that he just doesn't even look good on the ball. He
That's
looks
why I
slow.
say
He looks sluggish.
it's a combination of Brighton and
I literally watched him last week trip over himself. There was nobody around him. He just tripped
we know.
over
I
himself.
know exactly what you're
But
talking
like, come
about.
on, that can't be happening. That can't be happening for someone worth that amount of money. I'm
In
sorry.
my opinion, I think it is. I think the transfer, the reason you're seeing what you're seeing. Ah, come on, Gundo. That's beautiful, Gundo. That's beautiful. God, I'm still such a fan of this man.
You know,
I'm such a fan of Gundo.
he's like the number 2 in passes completed in La Liga.
I love Gundo. I love that man with a
Like passed to the
actual
final third.
passion. Um, no, me personally, I view that Moise Caicedo, Brighton, Chelsea transfer as 90% Chelsea and Brighton. I don't even put any of it really on the player itself because if you look at Brighton and you look at Chelsea as separate entities, you see Brighton as an exciting, explosive, young team that nobody knows what's going to happen with. Then you look at Chelsea, a not very exciting to watch team right now, mixed in their ages, and not a clear direction on what they're doing. So you take a player like Moise Caicedo, you take him from this young team that has a direction, an idea of what they're doing, a motive, a goal, to cement themselves. What I think they're doing is cement themselves in the Premier League as an actual top tier team. Then you have Chelsea, brand new owner, who doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Just signing players who performed well. That is like if you take me 7, 8 years ago and just say, hey, sit down on a football manager and make any kind of transfer you saw from last season. Don't actually watch them play. Just see stats and make a transfer. I think that's the course you see with Chelsea. Somebody who doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about or doing.
They're chasing the hype of some of these
Exactly. So for me, I blame more Chelsea than anybody else, weirdly enough, because I normally wouldn't blame a club buying a player in this sense. When we're considering the player, the club that sold them, and the club that bought them, I would normally blame the player more than the club, because that's just how I am. I think if you're performing well at one place, I think you can perform well at another place. I think you just have to
if you're
find it.
truly worth
Yes.
money and you're truly worth the talent, I agree.
Exactly. And in this case, I think it's a very specific case for me where I think it is more on Chelsea just being drawn in by a player.
I owe Chelsea a huge thank you because we were next up on the list to get our next slap.
I think
And
I don't think.
Chelsea-
Okay, so if you guys wouldn't have paid 100, if you guys would have paid more like 90 mil or 80 mil, I think he's a
They were
great. I
shooting
think
for
he's a.
about 100.
Yeah, I know.
And so at that point, like I said, I think Chelsea. Do I think there's a little bit of politics behind that between the clubs of Brighton trying to get a little bit more money out of it? I don't know. But anyway, regardless, fantastic business by Brighton on.
Yeah,
on
honestly,
Caicedo transfer.
great sell on Brighton. I don't think anybody would fight that. And so next on the list, get back on track. Alexis McAllister. Initially, I gave him a B plus on them selling him. I'm gonna drop that to a B minus, maybe even a C plus, just because they didn't get the money that they should have out of a player like at that quality. In today's transfer market, 50 mil, that's a steal for Liverpool. That is robbery for Brighton.
I wouldn't say it's. I don't know if I'd say it's
in
robbery,
today's market.
but he's not English, so like he's got that working against him.
Fuck, I hate the English tax. I hate English tax so much, dude. Jesus Christ.
I don't know. I think it's a great move for him for sure. Liverpool definitely off the hook that he had a sell-on clause or release clause. Sorry, I think that it was a good move, and for what they paid for him and what they got out of it as far as the transfer, I think it was a good.
I'm not
I think
calling
it was a good transfer. It was a very even transfer. I agree with you though? That they probably got more.
I see where you're coming from. I will agree that it was a very even No, I don't agree it was even. I think Brighton got their neck slapped just a little bit, not so much a full hand, but maybe like a
Yeah,
two
okay,
finger
yeah.
little neck slap, like we stole him from you. Because yeah, I think a World Cup, not just a World Cup winning attacking mid, but a important aspect to that World Cup winning team's attacking and
And
attacking mids. I think attacking mids is a somewhat of a dying breed in the sport, but I think there's such a valuable position.
mhm,
If you find a good attacking mid, it's irreplaceable. Look at Kevin De Bruyne.
mhm.
Look
Martin
at
Odegaard. Odegaard is another fantastic
yes,
example.
thank you. Odegaard. I'm just gonna use them two as an easy, quick two references. Odegaard and De Bruyne, they can provide you any pass you need from that midfield. But what else do they do? They track back and defend so well, which is something I don't think Alexis McAllister does as well. Now that I'm talking this out, which is why I think I also gave him that B-ish rating. Because Liverpool need that attacking mid that can also drop back and defend. Not saying he can't. I'm saying he can't, but I haven't seen it at the level I've seen it with Odegaard and De Bruyne.
Hmm,
I haven't seen it yet, and he hasn't had the opportunity to show that for
that's
a
true.
team at that level.
He's not
So
played. No, his red card got rescinded. So yes.
could he eventually be at that level in the sense of overall attacking mid? Yes. Do I think his passing is as good as either one of those players past mentioned? Not even close. I'm sorry. I don't think he touches Odegaard, and especially De Bruyne. I don't think he even touches that quality in passing. I don't. I think they're. I think, but at the same time, I think that all three of them are very different players. Odegaard's a little bit more well-rounded.
I
If you
agree.
want to be, if I want to be honest, I think Odegaard overall is a little bit more well-rounded out of the three. But I think De Bruyne, obviously, as everybody knows, has that passing touch that basically nobody in the Prem has ever had.
Oh, that's a bit of a stretch, but
He's been regarded as the best passing midfielder,
he is.
just best passing midfielder in the Prem of all time. He's been regarded as that multiple times from multiple different sources. I'm not gonna say he is because I think that's unfair to say that at this current time. I think we need to let him retire before that can even be brought up.
Mm.
But I think he's in the conversation, personally.
Oh, he's definitely in the conversation. But
Um,
anyway, last up on the Brighton list,
yes. Robert Sanchez.
also to Chelsea,
Honestly,
right?
yeah, to Chelsea. I
Man,
gave it a
Chelsea.
flat B originally, but I'm gonna change that to a C minus. Cause I'm sorry, Jason Steele has not cemented himself as that starting keeper you guys need for me. He did well at the last bit of last season. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Does he deserve a chance to show that he can be that consistent starting keeper? Absolutely. Do I have faith in Brighton's recruiting company to find a better keeper if he isn't? Absolutely. But I just feel like the selling of Robert Sanchez was early. I think it was done a season too early. I think
Mhm.
you should have let Sanchez and Steele fight out for that position one more season. Personally, that's kind of where I lie with it. Yeah, we got a bit more to go through, brother. I didn't even do notes on the Chelsea players for the most part.
All right.
We can move through these a little bit
Yeah.
quicker.
Well, once we start getting into these.
Yeah, Crystal Palace should be easy.
All right. So
Overall grade though for Brighton, I give him a straight A. Straight A. I think that's a solid grade. And maybe a B. Maybe a B. Matoma. Maybe a B plus. Maybe a B. But I'm gonna stick with an A.
I'm giving him an A plus purely because of that Caicedo's transfer. That alone is an A plus for me.
But have they found the replacement for Caicedo they had in the midfield? That's why I don't give them the A plus.
They're still doing bits minus the game
No,
against
they are.
West Ham.
They are. They are. They're looking all right still. Next on the list, which I almost didn't do this team as a whole, but I found myself drawn to do them at the last second. Crystal Palace, Mateus Franca. I give him a B. Pretty simple on this one. He could be a star for that team. He could be a top level, top tier player for that team. But unfortunately, only time is going to tell on that note. So I don't really want to comment further on that one personally.
That Dean Henderson pickup is nice.
Straight A on that Dean
That's
Henderson
a good pickup. That's a very good pickup.
Y'all needed a proven Premier League keeper. Dean Henderson is pretty fucking proven, in my opinion. He's not top tier, is what I'd like to call other keepers, but he is proven that he can do his bits in the Prem. And then right after that, I got Rob Holding. That's an A signing. That's an A signing for Crystal Palace, not Arsenal. I don't think I mentioned Arsenal's selling of Rob Holding in Arsenal's list, but I give that a D, flat D for Arsenal, because they need that backline depth, and that is why that is good for Crystal Palace, because I think he ends up being a starter for Crystal Palace, and even if he's not, that's a hell of a backup. After that, I got Wilfried Zaha out. That is a D. You should have given him a little bit more money. However, I will be piggybacking off of this grade, which kind of makes it a D plus for the reasons I will elaborate on in a minute.
The only reason I don't like that transfer is because he was free. That is the only reason.
I forgot to mention
that
that
is
part.
the only reason I'm not a fan of that. I honestly think that Crystal Palace have been looking a lot better since he left, weirdly enough. And I think that's to do with the second point that you're about to bring up. But Kai Havertz getting subbed off for Thomas Mueller. Anyway.
Yeah, as he should be. Thomas Mueller is a legend and a veteran of this Germany team. He should be getting some playtime. And when they're down 2-1, yeah. Wirtz out for Brandt. That's all right. That's all right, Trent. That's all right. So
anyway.
So this one's a little bit off of what we've normally been doing. I've got Elise and Eze in the same class for re-signed. That's a fucking A plus re-signing. I don't care who you are, what team you support. They are fantastic generational. I'm gonna say that with a grain of salt. Generational wingers. The only way you get them both on the field and get them more playing time is by selling Zaha, which is why I'm okay with that transfer as a neutral. Now, when it comes to Olise and Eze, I think the Zaha selling was brilliant, but these two have to prove themselves this year.
They do,
and they've already. Yeah, you're true. You're right. I think Elise and Eze have already slightly proved themselves as well. I think they've already done a good job of showing that they can be week in, week out Premier League starters. And I have that faith in them personally. So I give them an A plus just on re-signing them alone.
It's great on the retention from them.
Yeah, the retention of that is, and I originally gave them a C, but I'm gonna give them a B. I don't think it was the worst transfer window they could have had, but I think it definitely could have been better in certain aspects.
The bad business they did was the Zaha business. That's it. Everything else was fairly decent.
Yeah, you know what? You're not wrong. Nah, so fuck it. I'm giving it an A minus.
Yeah,
A minus for the Zaha. Liverpool's next on the list. First one up is Dominic Szoboszlai. Thank you. I actually did know how to pronounce it, but my brain was just not connecting those neurons. I give that a fucking straight ass A plus.
Yep.
He is an electric ass midfielder. The way that he moves around, not only on the ball but off the ball, is static, and I don't mean static in a negative way. I mean static as in it is electric. And then you add the fact that the man can finish from so many different areas. His finishing ability as a midfielder is top tier. Therefore, that is what gives that an A plus.
He is a strong runner on the ball.
Yep.
He is a natural leader. He's only, I think, 22, and
22,
he is the
yes.
captain of the Hungarian national team. He has the vision, he has the stamina, and he has the defensive capabilities as well as the offensive
Mhm.
capabilities. That is such a good, well-rounded pickup for a team that definitely needed a new rebuild in the midfield.
Well,
And
you guys needed it
no,
desperately.
I think he's going to be similar to a Steven Gerrard-esque player, but with
I think he's gonna be better.
slightly better
I
attributes.
think he's gonna be better than Steven Gerrard ever could have dreamt to been. I think
Oh,
he's more athletic. I think he's
he is more
smarter.
athletic.
I think he's smarter as a midfielder too. Not saying Steven Gerrard is not a smart, because Steven Gerrard lived off of his intelligence as a midfielder.
Hmm.
That's what made him so great. But that's why I say I think he will be a better midfielder than Gerrard
You know what's
by
crazy?
far.
We not only got the captain of Hungary, but I'm wasn't McAllister captain at Brighton or no?
I believe he was captain at Brighton,
We got two captains.
which does bring us on to our next player, Alexis McAllister.
Another great signing. Fantastic for what his. You've seen what other players at that same World Cup winner value were valued at.
I want to know what your grade is first.
A.
I give him a B plus.
I gave him an A.
I give him a B plus only for the fact that you guys have done a lot of work with your forwards this year, and I think you see his game time impacted from the essence of Cody Gakpo. Gakpo, primarily, and that's why I give it a B plus because yes, he was a vital part in that World Cup winning squad, very vital part at Brighton. But are you going to be able to see all of that still take hold and be as profitable as it could be with the other forwards available in the sense of Darwin, Jota, um, Hakpo,
Yeah,
and just specifically those three because of the positions that those three play,
but we've seen him play more of like the pivot to Soboslai,
which I don't agree with. I don't agree with
which
him
is exactly
being
what I thought it was going to
in a
happen.
two-man holding midfield. I don't agree with that.
That's what I thought was going to happen. I told you guys at the beginning of the season
You
before he
did,
played,
you
I said
did.
he's going to be the pivot. Now, do I like it? It depends. I mean, like I said, I
I
think
don't
it's
think
going
it's
to
the
vary.
worst thing.
I think it's going to vary on game, on matchups, and who we end up playing because we have seen him also in that sort of cam role where it's been him,
Well, that's why I expect him to play.
Curtis Jones, and Soboslai. So it's like
That's
it's really
where
going to be
that's where I
dependent on
expect him to play
matchups.
is in that 10 role, man. It's
I want to see his connection with Darwin Nunez and see if that is something that's going to prosper or if that's something that is going to fall flat on its face. Because I think McAllister has the vision to be able to pinpoint these runs that Darwin makes and be able to play the ball in such a way that Darwin can run onto them. Because I have not seen a player in quite some time that can run like Darwin. He is quick. He is
you
very
just say
quick.
you haven't seen some player that can run like Darwin in a long time.
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna let you have that because you're a Liverpool fan, but I completely and 100% disagree with that. There's a lot of players that run, I'm sorry, but harder than Darwin Nunes,
No,
who have
but it's
had
the same
worse
reason.
and better careers in the Premier League
It's
in
the
the
same
last
reason
5
that
years.
nobody runs like Holland. I think
I don't
Darwin
think
is
anybody
more
run.
explosive
I
than
don't think
Holland.
Holland runs that much after the ball.
Well, not now, but when he was at Dortmund, he was flying. And I'm talking about having that height that he has. I think he's 6'1", 6'2". Having the height
Talking
that
about
he had.
Darwin,
Yeah,
I believe he's 6'2".
6'2". Being 6'2" and being that fast is not easy.
Oh no, no, that's definitely an impressive side of his game. Is the
So
fact that you're able to be that tall and run that fast. Like motherfucker runs like me, and I'm about 5 inches shorter than him. That's terrifying.
I'm not saying he is
It's
the fat.
terrifying.
I think he actually has clocked the second, technically
I
now,
was
the
gonna say
second
either
fastest
the
time.
first or the second fastest time. I've definitely seen
But
that.
that's what I'm saying. I haven't seen a player run like that
I
and
see. I
cheat
see.
like
I
that.
see where you're coming
That's
from. I
where I'm
see where you're
coming
coming
from with
from.
that.
But Darwin's not on our topic because that was a
Nope.
last year transfer. Ryan Gravenbach. That's our next on the list.
That was the last signing that we
Fucking
had.
A signing out of. I'm sorry, not out of. Right before the gates close. That is 100% an A signing. He's a very, very, very good midfielder, and Liverpool need that starting ability / depth. They need that. I can't imagine anybody giving that other than an A personally. I mean, if
Yeah,
you have
I
another
agree.
grade, yeah, I was
No,
gonna
I
say
agree with that.
please feel free to share. Um, After that is Wartu Endo. I give it
Value.
a C plus. I give it a C plus. He's older. He's not going to be a vital starting midfielder for you guys, but he's going to be a good pickup. So honestly, I think I give it just a flat B. I'm gonna give it a B minus. I'm gonna give it a B minus.
I give it a B. I give it a B. I think he
I'm not sold
provides.
on him yet.
I think he provides that sort of experience that Henderson had to an
Oh,
extent.
that's ironic. That's one of our next step on the list. Um, but I see
To
where
an
you're coming
extent.
from.
I mean,
I see where
obviously
you're
no
coming from.
Champions League experience, but more so just
Experience in
life
the midfield,
experience.
yeah. Like
Just
you've
playing.
been there. You've been
Right.
there. You know what
Right.
you're doing in that position.
Yeah.
I can agree with that. I'm gonna stick with my C plus. I give it a C plus because I think it's a good signing, but I can't give it more than a C plus until I see him playing
Fair.
more personally.
Fair.
Now we're gonna be out to the ouch transfers of
I think
Liverpool.
all of our outs have been phenomenal.
I don't think I have anything lower than a B.
I'd give each one a B plus.
I have a B minus Fabio Carvalho,
Okay,
which
fair.
we'll get to that. So first on the outs, I got Fabinho out, B plus, and this is gonna be my stance on like the next two players. Fantastic mid, experience through the roof, but the age, it is time. It's time for you to take a new step on your career. It is time for Liverpool to take a new step in their path. And I'm gonna just go ahead and say right now, exact same thing with Jordan Henderson. It is time for not only the player but the club. I think it was a good move for both.
I don't think
Healthy move for both.
Fabinho. I think it's a great move that Jordan is out. I think it's a great move that Fabinho is out. He hasn't looked quite the same player that he has. Fabinho is still fairly young. He's not that
What is he?
old.
34? Because 34 is it's not young. I'll tell you that much. It ain't young. But if he's younger than 34, then maybe I disagree with that.
Oh, he's 29.
Oh my god. No, do not sell him to Saudi.
No, I agree.
I'm not gonna say don't sell
I
him to
agree.
Saudi. I'm just gonna give it like a C. I'm gonna give it a C plus instead.
He is a little bit older than I thought. For some reason, I thought he was younger than 29.
I thought he was like mid 30s. I thought he was mid 30s.
No, no, no.
Just the
I
way
knew
he
was
looks.
younger. Yeah,
Just
he
the way
does
he
look.
looks.
He does look. He does look old.
He does. He looks fucking old as
But
shit.
from that,
He looks older than Casemiro, and I'm pretty sure Casemiro is older than him.
yeah, he is.
Wild.
Yeah,
It's that bald head. It's that bald head that does it for
something
me.
about it.
It's that bald head, man.
I like that transfer. I like the Jordan Henderson transfer. I also
I think they were both good, both great transfers.
yeah.
Personally,
I second your B plus ratings for that.
Firmino though, no, I still stick with a B on that. Straight B on Firmino. Same thing. Age. When it comes to Firmino specifically,
He went to
all
Saudi too, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
all about the age.
Yeah, he was getting older. I
He-
mean, I know David really liked him and would have loved for him to stay. He was a rotational player, and yeah, he brings some extra depth. But with the forwards that we have now, there's just no room for him. And I just, I think you cash out while you can. I don't even know if he,
No,
he went on a
no, I'm
free,
pretty
right?
sure he was actually a free transfer.
Yeah, I think he was
Being
on a
real,
free. Yeah, you're right.
pretty sure
No,
he was a free.
he was on a free transfer. It was time for him to
But
move on.
he's not on your guys' books anymore.
You either live long enough to be a villain or you die a hero. So
Yeah,
I
as in
think,
you live long enough to go to Saudi and become a fucking villain. That's what you.
well, I mean, from
That's
like a
what you saw
Liverpool
there.
standpoint, I think he made the right choice.
No, absolutely. I
Uh,
just saw the opportunity and I had to take it.
yeah, I don't mind.
Please keep up with these. I have to piss.
Okay, well, while you go do that, I'll kind of run through these in after I sneeze. Oh, hey, thank you. All right, next up we have James Milner on the out. We kind of talked about it a little bit with Brighton. and his rating there, I think that is a great move for Liverpool, kind of really backing into that new era of midfield players and getting out with the old, in with the new type of mindset. I, nothing against James Milner. I personally love the way he plays. I just think again, it was time for him to see his way out. And great move over to Brighton. Next, we have Naby Keita on the out. I think that signing was one of the worst pieces of business that Liverpool had done in recent times. He at first looked very promising and then was derailed by injuries. Dude was made of glass. I mean, very unfortunate because I think he's a very, very good player. He just was always injured. And very rarely did we see him play and perform. And so to get him out again, revamping the midfield, I think that was a good move. B for the fact that for the mere fact that he went for free. I mean, we paid a good penny for him, and the fact that we let him go on the freezy, tough. But it's better than keeping him and extending his contract when obviously he was not part of the plan. Next, we have Oxlade Chamberlain with another B rating from Jay is what he has down as a B here. I agree with him there. I think Ox was a great player for how we needed him when we needed him. He just never got that playing time, and so
Yeah,
no
Ox.
reason for him to stay.
Yeah, Ox. I mean, he had his moments at Liverpool. He had his moments in the Prem in general, but yeah, I think he. I'm not gonna say overstayed his welcome. I think he kind of did it right. I'm happy that he's found his way out. Um, I know you've already talked about Naby Keita, but yeah, injury prone as fuck. Gotta get him out of there, bro.
Yeah.
He's not gonna on a team like Liverpool. Where I mean, you guys are already pretty injury prone as it is. With a handful of players, gotta get him out of there. He had the potential, just didn't show.
Yeah.
He didn't show. He's already gone over Ox, as I said. Good move. Fabio, give it a D. He scored 2 game-winning goals for you guys last year, and I don't see the reasoning on sending him on. I mean, okay,
For him to get playing time.
on yeah, on
I'll get playing
loan
time.
I understand it, but I still give it a D, man. I think he could have been a vital part of that system this year. I think he could have been a great second half player, but I also understand Klopp's decision of again, let him get playing time.
I was gonna say I kind of agree with it. Give him that playing time. Let him play and get some more experience elsewhere where he'll actually be able to fit into a starting squad.
I gave it a D initially. I'm gonna give it a C now, just because I was battling with it initially, but I see where his point of view comes from as a Liverpool fan. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and
And
give
he's still
that
young.
a C.
He's still young.
I'm gonna give that a C. Overall grade B plus slash A minus. Get rid of Salah. Take that money. You've already spent a lot. I know how that FSG is. Y'all want that money back, as well as money to also incorporate into investing in the squad. So I think selling Salah is a 10 out of 10 move right now. And don't get me wrong, Salah is a top tier world class player. I put him in my top 10 as of
Mm,
current playing players today.
this sure.
You have to. Oh my god. Germany is getting torn apart by
Is he
Japan 3-1.
offsides? He has to be offsides.
Nah, dude, he was in on goal.
What is Ter Stegen doing?
I mean, I think he's dealing with a 2-on-1 situation where he knows he's fucked.
Yeah, but he just gave up.
I probably would have too in that
When have
situation.
you ever seen a keeper just give up in that kind of scenario?
Multiple
I've
times.
not seen any keeper give up the way I just witnessed.
Let me see this back. Oh my god, that's another mistake by Germany. Their back line is hurting.
Like he didn't even
I,
try to come off his line. Just wait till you see the
I
other
mean, he
angle.
did come off his line.
Just wait till you see the other angle. If they show
From
you.
that angle, it shows that he,
Look,
yeah, it
look.
shows he came off his line to me.
You're not even really gonna see it from this angle because he comes in too late. Like
I
who?
mean, but also he can clearly see the player coming in on his right. He's got to keep an eye out for that. He's got to try to close in as well as
Yeah,
close
but at
that
that
space.
point,
He's all in on two players, man. He's got to close out two different spaces.
oh, I wish it showed that first angle, but yeah,
I don't
I,
think that's on Ter Stegen as
it's partial, not no,
I wouldn't put that on Ter Stegen at all.
it's not on him entirely. Yes, it's a 2v1 situation. There's only so much you could do, but I just witnessed him just kind of sit there, like
I think and honestly, in a situation where you get a man running on you from here and a guy coming on you from here as a goalkeeper, I think you kind of got to be like, where the fuck are my defenders? I don't know how to handle. I would.
yeah,
Would
but
you
at the
know how to
same,
handle that? Would you know how to come out?
yes,
Well, you're not.
I've done it at Fast Five. You just come
All
out, cut
right, well,
off
we're
the
gonna move.
angle
We're gonna
as
we're gonna
best
move.
you
We're
can.
gonna move on
You don't
after
just
he
give
just said
up.
I did it at Fast
You don't
Five.
just give up.
We're gonna move on after he just said I did it at Fast
Oh
Five. Whether
my!
oh
Yo, this is
no.
getting embarrassing.
No, no, they
This
didn't just
is
score
getting
another one, bro.
embarrassing. They
Nah.
just scored again.
All right. On this point, 4-1 to Japan. All right, Ter Stegen, what are you complaining about? Let me see this one.
That was a soft header,
Oh,
but I don't
Japan is
know.
enjoying this, dude. Good for them. Fuck it. Good for Japan. I'm
And
happy for
Germany
them.
have such a solid
They
team, but
have
they
such
just
a good team, dude.
don't play well
Who is their
together.
manager?
Just don't play well. I forget who it is. Look at this. Look at this.
I thought this was off a corner.
I thought it was off
I thought it
corner
was
as
off
well.
a corner. No, this is sad. Oh, what a header!
Yeah, that's just well
What
managed.
a
That's a
header!
very he hit it into the ground, got the little skip. Very good header. Not much Ter Stegen
Oh
could do
yeah,
there.
no,
Where's
no.
the defense?
That's what
How
I've
does
been
he?
saying, bro, since the
How does
last
he
goal.
have?
The defense is not
Bro,
there.
how does he have a wide open header with no contention
That's
whatsoever?
awful, man. Germany's defense is
Germany's getting picked on.
shambles. It is shambles, and that's sad to say about a team like Germany, in my opinion.
Anyway,
Man City, the boys. Josko Garvadio. I'm sorry, Gvardiol or Guardiola, because we all know what Pep was doing with that transfer. Um, Top tier center back in my opinion. World class, absolutely. Um, with the release of Laporte, possibly no, not possibly anymore. Just kidding. Just to release the Laporte. Oh my God, they're on the attack again. Please do not let it become 5-1. Please. Oh God, Germany, don't let that happen. Gavardio, straight A+ signing. One of the best, if not the best center back, young center back in the world right now. Sorry,
yeah, I would have loved to have him on Liverpool.
dude.
That would have
He's and after what I've seen from him in his performances already, yeah, definitely top tier. I love it. Uh, Fits in perfectly to that Man City side. Fits absolutely perfectly in it. Next on the list is Mateus Nunes. As a Man City fan, I really wasn't too convinced on this signing. I'm not too convinced on Mateus Nunes. I'm definitely really harsh with this grade. I give it a D, but Pep has his thoughts on it, so I do have a little bit of faith. I will say that. Thoughts on Nunes?
I don't really have any thoughts on him. I don't know
Mm.
how he plays. I haven't watched him enough, so
I
we'll see.
wasn't convinced on him with Wolves.
I think he'll be a more rotational player,
A very rotational player. He better be a very
at
rotational.
least to begin with, for sure.
And then Jeremy Doku. Sorry, I give that an A. A minus. I give it an A minus.
He did look pretty good. He did look pretty good.
He looked very, very ready to be explosive in that game against I want to say West Ham, but it wasn't West Ham. Was it West Ham? Is that who?
Full, I think.
Fulham. That's who it was. That is who it was. I think he looked very energetic, very exciting. And as a City fan, I love watching those players. That's where my Riyad Mahrez was. And I like that style of play on that right wing. And we'll get into the whole Riyad Mahrez, Cole Palmer, Jeremy Doku talk here in just a second. But I give it a B minus overall. I think he's an exciting player and could very much be a normal starter for City. My only issue with Doku is I don't think him as a player exactly understands what City as a team wants to do on the ball. And I think that right now is hurting him. And I think you saw that in some of his possessions against Fulham. However, his movement to I think set Holland up for that first goal, or just be involved really well in what should have been a goal. No, it was a cross over to Phil that went right across the touchline. Basically, Holland should have been there, but Doku started that, and it was a wonderful bit of movement, pace, and skill from him to start that. And there was a couple of moments before that where he showed that skill, pace, and ability. So I'm pretty excited to see how Doku does throughout this season. I think I think by December I think you see him kind of conform.
Mm.
So definite. I'm gonna give that a B plus. Actually, I said B minus. Nah, B plus. B plus. Thoughts?
I like B. I'm gonna stick with B.
I feel that. Feel that. I was gonna say
We'll
B.
see. We'll see how it turns out. B with
Wow,
potential to
I
be A.
gave I gave Kovacic, which came out to Mopacic because Apple fucking spelling. Yeah, Mateo Kovacic, I gave him a B, a straight B, and I'm gonna stick with that.
Yeah, I think that's a good rating. He's a good holding central midfield. He does play very similar to how you guys like it. And he is
Yes, he
more of
does.
that tiki taka style, but a little bit more of like harder on the edges
The
type of player.
reason though I gave him a B instead of a B plus or an A minus, because I initially wanted to give him a B plus A minus, but I don't think he has exactly what it takes to be a starting Man City player like
Mm,
Gundogan did. Because that's how I'm rating this. Is he is my Gundogan replacement.
that's pretty much what he is.
Off of that, yeah, B minus all day. Sorry, because you are not the player that Gundogan is. You are not. I don't care if you've won 2 Champions League. One of those was with Madrid, where I know you didn't play that much in the Champions League final, as well as Chelsea. You just happen to be at the right place at the right time. Do I think you could get yourself a third Champions League title this year? Yes. But do I think he is that Gundogan level transfer that we needed to replace him? No.
Mm.
But I think he can fill the spot in well enough to where we don't necessarily feel that loss as
Yeah,
much.
I can agree with that.
I'm okay with Mateo coming in. I'm very okay. And now to the outs of Man City. First on my list is Cole Palmer.
You were so hyped up on him too.
I'm not happy about it. I'm not happy about it, but I'm also okay with it. Because if Pep himself was okay with letting go of Cole Palmer, to not just let go of Cole Palmer, but let him go to Chelsea.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Same thing as Raheem. Whereas I see this as less detrimental possibly than Raheem's transfer could have been last year. And that's where I feel okay with it in the sense of letting him go. I gave it a D rating, but honestly, I'm going to give it a C rating. I thought he was going to be my Riyad Mahrez replacement. And I was pretty excited about that, especially after the 2 goals he scored in preseason, because they were nice goals. They were fantastic in the Community Shield and the Super Cup. Great fucking goals from very similar positions, too. I'm not happy about him leaving the club. He's one of our academy players, and I never like to see an academy player leave. I want them to stay and fulfill whatever they could possibly do for our club. But no, I take that away. Pep's gone after next season. Well, no, after the next, we got him for 2 more seasons. In 2 seasons, Pep's gone. How heavily are you really holding out to just be coached by Pep for 2 more years? Because if it's that heavily, I think you made a horrible decision. If you're not really that worried about taking on Pep's mentorship, good move on your part. You're gonna get more playtime, I think. I think. You've got Nkuku once he comes back. You've got Sterling. You've got Oh god, I'm drawing a blank on so many players now, but they got like 5 others.
They have some Mudryk, Nikola Jackson.
They have too many forwards.
They have so many players. It's ridiculous.
If you want playtime, Chelsea's not the place that you need to go right now. Even as a right winger, where that's a little bit on their lower side of attacking possibilities. Like, I don't think that was a place for him to go, personally. So I give. Nah, I'm gonna stick with my original. This is more of a personal grade for Cole as an individual. Yeah, it was a D on your part. I think you were better off just staying at City for even one more year, just learning under Pep for one more year. You're better off right now. But all the faith to you in the world, Cole. I hope you do well, even if it is against us. I like Cole Palmer. I have for a few years now. I really wanted to see him become a Chelsea or a City star and kind of take over that right wing position. But do you, brother? Do you? I hope you do well.
Now we have a string of Saudi transfers for you guys.
We do have a slight string of Saudi transfers. Actually, just two. Just two.
Yeah.
First off, Riyad Mahrez. I give it a C. If he wanted to leave, it was time. Do I think he had more to give the City? Yes. But if he like I am very much adopting the whole Pep mindset of I only want players that want to be at the club. So if you didn't want to be in there anymore, and an individual such as Riyad Mahrez, he's got ties to Saudi, so I understand that move a little bit more in his sense as well. His religious sense as well as how he's brought up. I think he fits in very well culturally wise. And I think that's going to help him just excel in his play professionally. So
I give that a C as well.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a C.
He's still fairly young.
Aymeric Laporte, I give it a B plus for City, because we don't need him.
Yeah, that's a good move for you guys.
Yeah, we needed to get him off the books.
Yeah.
Let him continue his career elsewhere, and I believe he ended up going to Aston Villa. Yeah, that's who we talked about earlier for Aston Villa is Laporte.
No, long way.
No, yeah.
Laporte went to Saudi.
Yeah, that's right. God damn.
Al Nassr.
They really are just picking up a bunch of players that are known. It's gonna be like China though. That's a different topic. Gundogan.
I can't believe you guys let him leave.
Gundogan. Yeah, I agree with what I just said. Initially, I had it as a D minus, but
that's a great move for him.
I had it as a D minus initially because of the fact that he genuinely saved us 2 seasons in a row in the last game of the season in the Prem to win us the Premier League. So I have to feel a little bit salty, I feel like. But initially I gave it a D. I think I'm going to pop it up to a C for the same reason of if you don't want to be at the club, there's the door. If Gundogan did not want to further excel his career at City, then that's fine. That's fine. As an individual, as a fan, I don't have a distaste towards Gundogan. I genuinely hope him nothing but the best as a player, because I have so much faith in him. But yes, I'm still gonna stick with a D. I'm gonna stick with a D minus, actually. D minus. But again, there's definitely a little bit of City thoughts that go into that grade, I will say.
Which is
I was waiting for you to give a grade on that.
Oh, you want me to give the grade? Okay, well you're the one who made the list. So overall, you gave him a B plus. I was gonna let you just handle that.
B plus, all right. That's a fair grade. That's a fair grade.
How are you gonna tell me it's a fair grade? You're the one who made the grade.
Because everybody's entitled to their own fucking opinions, guy.
No, but I'm
a City fan.
I was telling you what you put.
No, not on their overall grade. I'm talking about Gundogan's transfer trade.
No, but I was talking about the overall grade.
Yeah, and you're again, like I said, you're entitled to your opinion and thoughts and feelings on each one of these grades, and I respect.
Did you tell them what you thought your overall grade was?
Yes, D minus.
For City?
No, for Gundogan.
Oh, maybe. Okay.
I'm moving on to the overall grade, which I give a B plus.
I didn't realize you. Okay.
I think we offloaded some players that I didn't want to see, but I think we brought on more players that I am happy to see come onto the squad. So I definitely give it a B plus.
I give it a B.
Fair.
Yeah.
Manchester United. Rasmus Højlund. I give it a C, and that's me being nice. That's me being very nice on that grade. I'm not gonna lie. No, fuck it. I haven't been that nice to anybody. I'm giving it a D plus because they went out and went on Wish.com and went, I'm gonna buy Holland, and they got Royce Miss Holland. They got a 6'1" compared to 6'2". Norwegian fucking blonde haired striker.
I'm pretty sure
Wow.
Hoyland is Danish.
No, he's
He's
Norwegian, brother.
Oh, okay.
That's why I call him the Wish Holland.
That's
He's a blonde-haired, 6-foot Norwegian striker
That's a harsh grade, man.
who's apparently strong and good on the ball. But not good on the ball, but good at striking.
I'm giving him a B.
Have you seen him play?
Yes, briefly, very briefly. And in that brief period that I saw him play, I was impressed.
He should have scored.
I was impressed.
He should have scored against Arsenal.
But I give him a B. I think this has a B potential to be A. Purely because he gives something that United haven't had in a long time, and that's an actual good striker.
So, in all honesty, I gave this a C out the gate. Never with anything other than a C. I'm not going to give him anything higher than that or lower than that until I see him play more than, I don't know,
Yes,
30 minutes of game.
Right. So again, in time will tell. But the reason I think that's a B is because of the type of player that he is. He is very quick. He is very good in the air. He's very strong, and ideally he provides.
He's a good player.
Right, and he provides a. He's a Dortmund Holland-esque player, but
he didn't play for Dortmund. Don't say that.
I'm saying Dortmund Holland, not City Holland.
Ah, okay, yeah.
I give it a B. I think he provides something that United very, very desperately needed, and that alone is the reason that I'm giving.
I think he provides that if he actually has that output, though, because yeah, off of paper and what people are saying about him,
right. Yeah. That's all we have to go by. So that alone is why I'm giving.
Yep. All right, I hear you.
Because I mean, we'll see him play throughout the season, but for now, that's all we can do.
Next on the list,
D.
Mason Mount, and
D.
Really
hard D. Hard D.
I don't disagree with it because I almost gave him a D plus, but I was like, nah, it's too early in the season to just kind of.
I've not been a fan. I've not been a fan. He looked awful in preseason, and then he's injured.
Yeah.
You paid a shit ton of money for that.
I said C initially. I'm gonna go with a C minus because I don't feel right. Because I can't drop a player off of a C to a D strictly off an injury. That's a bit out of his control.
Yes, true. But for the other two reasons,
exactly. I agree with you. I agree with you on that full-heartedly. I've kind of always liked Mason Mount. I think he's a good head player. I think he's got a good head on his shoulders. I don't think he's gonna let this ruin his career, kind of deal. I think he has a chance to come back from it. So that's why I'm gonna stick with a C. I'm gonna make it a C minus. So I will say that it is a C minus because what did they spend on him? Like 70 mil from Chelsea. 70 mil to your rival for somebody who did not perform all that great. Yeah, that's getting your fucking neck slapped. Sorry. Next on the list is Andre Onana.
Tyler, that's a really good rating. A really good pickup. I think that's an A for them. I agree with the rating that you have. I would have.
That's what I had. Yeah, that is what I had. I thought I had a B. So yeah, I will give Andre Onana. I will give him an A for now. Because I do want to revisit this same exact list at the end of the season, possibly with a few extras on the list. Just kind of have an idea. Oh wow, I forgot Ukraine and England were playing again for Euro qualifiers as they did last year. I'm convinced that's the Premier League committee going, hey, we want to see what he can actually do against Premier League players. Talking about Mudryk. And that's how this happens every year. But side note,
interesting.
Yeah, right. He didn't do jack shit against England last year. Didn't do jack shit. Amrabat. What's your grade?
Ooh, Amrabat. I think that's a B.
I gave it a B plus. And I agree with you there. Had a fantastic showing at the World Cup. I mean, when it comes to midfielders, one of the best showings, if you ask me. If not, possibly the best showing at all. However, I'm going to say one of the best. Never mind.
Typical United fashion, he gets signed, immediately gets injured on international duty.
Happened?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
He got hurt.
God,
He got
oh,
hurt. I don't
that's
know how long he's. I
awful.
don't know how long he's going to be out for, but he is injured.
I'm gonna say a minimum of 4 weeks.
I'll say 4 weeks.
That's just a guess. That's just a guess,
That
by
would
the
be
way.
that
That's a
would be
guess,
funny.
complete guess.
That would be funny. Typical United.
Oh wow, yeah, that's I'm a City fan, and that hurt to hear. That hurt to hear because I was kind of excited to see how we did against that. Um, next on the yeah, Amrabat could be a very good signing. Could possibly end up being an A to A plus signing by the end of the year.
Potential.
In my
Potential.
100% potential. Johnny Evans, D. Why? There's other center backs out there. Why? Why are we buying John? Why are we buying Johnny Evans? Why not? Why? No. Why are we? Why are y'all buying Johnny Evans? What is the reasoning behind that? If you're a United fan, I would just love. I would love to hear your thoughts on the Johnny Evans signing. What do you think he's gonna bring to your club? Please, just let me know down in the comments below. What's your grade on Johnny Evans?
I don't know anything about him. I'll give
He's
him
a 36-year-old fucking center back
I'll give him a.
who has played in England his whole life.
I will give that a C because they are very slim on the center back position right now.
I mean, I understand that. I understand that
because
grade.
they
I
just
don't
lost
disagree.
Lissandro, Varane. All their center backs are injury prone, and then you have Harry Maguire.
And I was a little rough on Sergio Reguilon actually. I initially said Sergio Reguilon as a D plus. I'm gonna give him a C, a flat C. Just because Luke Shaw is a little bit injury prone. Um, and you kind of just you need somebody who's a little bit Premier League proven or with at least some Premier League experience in that back line, and Reguilon is gonna bring that for you. So I don't think that's the worst signing they could have made. Definitely better than fucking Johnny Evans. I'll tell you that much.
I give that one a C.
Yeah, fair enough. Dean Henderson on the first outlooks of Manchester United. I give that a D. You need somebody back there in case Andre Onana ends up not being the guy. Which
I don't know if there's any threat of Andre Onana not being the guy. I think it's if he misses time for any reason whatsoever, they are screwed.
agreed.
I also
Agreed.
don't know who the other backup is at United, so I can't say that entirely. But
I don't
it's
think it's
not
anybody
common.
notable.
It's not
I
common
have to
for
look it up.
keepers to drop like that. So
No. But I also think Dean Henderson is a decent goalkeeper, and I think that maybe they should have given him a little bit more chance. But that's just me on being kind of nice to Dean Henderson, if you will. Next on the list is Anthony Alanga.
I think that
That's an
was
out.
yes, that
That's
was
a
an
D.
out. I think that's poor on United's
It's a
end.
D, if you ask me.
But
And
look
what
at
is
where
that?
he-
Mudryk getting dropped by Kyle Walker. Don't come at me like that in a Chelsea jersey, kid. Don't do it. Sorry.
I think that's a big mistake.
I
don't know.
agree.
I don't
I
know.
agree. I think
He
it's a
didn't
huge
do much.
mistake.
He didn't do much at United, but then he goes to Nottingham.
He scored 2 game-winning goals for them, and he had very little playtime.
Yeah, he had very little playtime, and maybe that's what the main problem is. But wherever he went now, I think it's Nottingham. It's either Nottingham
yeah,
or
Nottingham.
okay, Nottingham.
That's who scored a goal. That's who
he's
scored a
been doing
winning
well.
goal against them,
He's
or at
been
least
doing-
a game tying goal, I believe.
He's been doing well over there, and I think he'll prove to be a good pickup for Nottingham.
If I had Nottingham on this list, that'd be a fucking A plus. I can tell you that right now.
I'd say it was a B.
D. It would be a D for United and A plus for Nottingham because they don't have that attacking force, in my opinion. I think Alanga is a step above the rest of their attackers, personally. Fred, I just figured I'd throw him on this because he's been involved with the team long enough now that he's out. He's worthy of being mentioned. Honestly, I give it a C because he's had some pretty bright moments for United in that red jersey. But he's also had a lot of poor moments. So
see, that's a very average.
Yeah, I think it's a reasonable transfer. I think it's a reasonable transfer on United side. Overall for United for the transfer window, I give him a C minus.
Well, I'll give him a C.
Fair.
Slightly.
Yeah, fair.
Just average. It's an average.
Yeah. I just felt there was a little bit in it that it just drove me to put because I put C originally and I stared at it and I was like,
It's
No, we're putting
average.
the minus
It's
in there.
average with potential to be better.
There it is. There it is. That's the way I need to
Yeah.
put it out there. Newcastle next on the list. I'm actually kind of excited about them. Sandro Tonali, immediate
A+.
fucking plus
A+.
transfer.
Yep.
World class center mid.
100%.
I mean, absolutely insane acquisition for Newcastle. Very happy for them as a club. Scoring on his debut and fantastic defense. Not only scoring, he didn't get an assist, but he assisted the assist. Fantastic cross into the box to a player on the outside of that edge who crossed it in for a goal in the very first game of the season right after scoring. I mean, you really can't ask for much more out of a midfielder. To start a season, you cannot ask for much more. And that honestly is a very big part of why I give him an A plus, because initially it would have been like an A. But the A plus is the fact that he came out and showed he can do stuff for the team immediately. Next on the list is Harvey Barnes. That's a C plus.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
I don't think it's a bad signing.
I don't think it's the best, but
I don't think it's a crazy good signing, but he has shown that he can perform in the Premier League at a position where they definitely could use a little bit of backup, a little bit of depth. Lewis Hall, I don't know exactly why. I'm not gonna lie. I give him a B plus.
I give that a C. I think that's average. C.
I
C
think
plus.
it's pretty average too, but I don't know what it is. I have a lot of faith in Lewis Hall, like as a player, man. I like the kid. I like the kid a lot, and I think he could end up being a really good signing for Newcastle, and that's strictly off of just thought. So hopefully he does. Hopefully he does end up being a pretty solid player. But now I did kind of skip through a decent amount of the inbounds that they had, but I hit the three main ones.
The main ones, yeah.
Or four main ones. ASM on the out. I give it a C plus because I don't think it's a bad move, but I think y'all could have kept him for one more season. And y'all could have kept him for one more season, and he could have shown some class. Especially on
he was injured the majority of last season.
Exactly, but that's part of like why I think it could have been a good move. Because let him get healthy. Let him show what he can provide for that team on that left wing in his last season.
Yeah, but
they were trying to get money off
Saudi of him.
It wasn't much.
And Anthony Gordon.
It was 30 mil at most.
Nobody else is gonna pay that, I don't think.
I think if ASM would have gone out and had one more good season, I think Saudi would have paid more.
Maybe.
I think they would have. But that's all speculation.
Yeah.
I cannot base my grade off of that. I do stick with what I said at a C plus because I think it is a good.
Agree. Yeah, I agree with C plus.
Chris Wood on the out, I give that an A because bro, you got Isak and Callum Wilson. You do not need him taking up space, not only on the books but in that forward.
I think that's good for both club and player.
Yeah, 100%. I think Chris Wood's going to get more playtime out of it, and I think he's going to be happier. I think club's going to be happier. I agree. I think it's an A move on both parties. Overall grade, I give him a B plus. Give him a B plus.
Yeah, I'd stick with B plus as well. They've been looking. Well, they were looking good.
Yeah, no, they were looking good last year, and I think what they did this offseason, I think is going to strengthen
this.
Looking all right.
Shake.
They've had some tough matchups in the first 4 weeks. Knowing that City was one of them. And I believe they had one other. I didn't realize they were one with 3 draws.
They've lost to Brighton,
1 and
Liverpool,
3,
and City.
Okay, yeah, Oh no, they've had a horrid start of the season.
They've had a difficult start to the season.
It's a horrid start to the season.
But they start off with a draw against Chelsea, a commanding win against Aston Villa, and then all downhill from there.
I wouldn't say a commanding
win against Villa.
No. I wouldn't. I see how that date. Those dates go. I see how those dates go. I thought it was starting from the first game of the season.
But as a team that people predicted to be in the top 4, top 5, getting Champions League,
I still think they.
You have to be able to put those matchups away. You have to be winning those types of matchups. Those are the types of games that you have to win, not against the lower division teams.
Well, I mean,
Lower
yes,
table teams.
and you're also talking about City and Liverpool being 2 out of those 3
If you expect to be a
matchups.
competitor, you gotta compete.
I mean, it's not like they got blown out by either one of those teams. They're talking 1-goal games, man.
Yeah, but City do
That
the
has
thing that
a
City do. They score one goal and they pass it
yeah, no,
exactly.
no. We
So like
definitely we
once,
hit them with that City treatment in that game. But
yeah,
I'm talking about the Liverpool game more specifically. That should have been a win. That should have been a borderline easy win for Newcastle.
oh, I wouldn't say borderline easy win,
No,
but
I guess
I
I'll take
agree.
that back. You guys were
Darwin did come in and make the difference
He
in
was
that game.
clutch.
So
He was
he did
clutch in
he
that
did
last
come up.
20 minutes,
He
man.
did come up big. So
That's
I give
a
him that.
point that we're not touching on right now because we're not going over the last 2 weeks. But Darwin showed up clutch against Newcastle, and even as a City fan, I mean, hats off to the man for coming in and scoring a brace in that amount of time. Hats
Hmm.
off to
Hmm.
you, sir. And I do apologize for as much shit as I've talked about you, but I don't think it's necessarily unjust yet.
Not yet.
Yet.
Not yet.
Yet. But we'll see as the season plays out. If Darwin can continue that form of scoring,
Consistently, yes, I
yeah,
agree. It'll be a
Liverpool's
problem.
scary. Liverpool's
It'll be
scary
a
at that
problem.
point. But let's get on to Tottenham. For those
Is Tottenham the last one?
no, Chelsea is my last
Chelsea
one.
is one.
Yeah, I saved them for last. Specifically. Yeah. First one looks Brennan Johnson, C. I think he's a solid player for depth. And I think that's about where it ends.
Yeah,
Like
I'll
it's
agree
not
with
a
C.
it's not a bad pickup for that second half need.
C
Now
for
where it
me.
gets a little bit more interesting is James Madison, A plus.
A plus.
A fucking
Definitely.
plus. Not on the fact that you picked up James Madison, but the fact that somebody was gonna buy him. Somebody was gonna snag him from Leicester. It was inevitable. And he's a class player in my
He's
opinion.
already making a world of
Dude,
difference.
he looks so much better on that team than he did with Leicester. So much better.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And James Madison is one of those players I do enjoy watching. I want to see him excel and do well and make a name for himself in the long run. Oh, Ukraine almost just had someone. Oh, could Mudryk have a chance? No, no.
Poor
Ukraine.
decision. Poor decision.
Oh, Zinchenko! Mate, you're better than that pass. Oh, you're better. Zinchenko.
Anyway, Madison, yes, very good pickup. I give that an A.
A plus for sure. Pedro Porro. Solid B pickup in my opinion. They need that backline reinforcements after getting rid of Regulon. I think he's gonna provide that nice left back solidarity. Solidarity.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you. Yeah, man, straight B, straight. I'd even say B plus, maybe even A minus. But I think time's gonna tell on how I grade it on that sense. I give it a straight B out the gate for the prospect of it.
I also give that a B. I think that's a B. I think that stays a B, to be honest.
And then Kulusevski, some may say he doesn't deserve to be on this list because he was a loan who was now a permanent transfer, but he is a transfer nonetheless, and that's an A transfer nonetheless. Why? He looked fantastic under not Postanoglu. He looked fantastic last season. He looks better this season. I think he is going to be a long-term good signing for Tottenham when it comes down to the end of it. Giovanni Lo Celso, I give him a B. I'm gonna drop down to a C plus, honestly, because I think Lo Celso is a solid player. He was a vital part of that World Cup winning squad for Argentina. But that's club versus, or that's international versus club. It does get a little bit foggy in that area, in that sense, I guess. So I think he could end up being a very good player. I'm gonna stick with a C plus on that because I have faith in Lo Celso.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with a C plus on that one.
Harry Kane, I gotta hand that a D. You got good money for him. I don't know, because Son's kind of their striker now, which is a good replacement in a sense, but Son played so well because of Kane as well. I'm gonna give it a C minus. Zinchenko! Let's go!
Wow.
Atta boy, the Man City child.
Ukraine taking the lead against England.
I hope they beat England, and I hope Mudryk does nothing about it.
I also hope they beat England. Harry Kane D. I second. I C minus that.
Yeah, no, it's not a terrible transfer. You got a lot of money off the guy.
I think if Harry Kane stays with the pickup of James Madison, I think Tottenham.
Oh my God! If he would have stayed with James Madison, they're great title contenders.
Yeah.
Great title contenders. I'm sorry.
Say title contenders, but I do think they get Champions League again for sure.
That's a
For sure.
spot. Fight. Harry Winks. It's a B plus B.
Sure.
Getting him out of there. Getting him out. Yeah, didn't really need him. Didn't really need him anymore. So off the books, got a little money out of him. Yeah, I'll give it a B plus, honestly. Davinson Sanchez. I give it a B.
Also give it a B. He didn't play.
I'm gonna give it a B minus
He
because
didn't play often.
I had more faith in Davinson Sanchez than I think a lot of the managerial class of Tottenham had in him, which is why I think you saw him not play as much. They just they didn't have the faith in him, and I think that does do a lot for not only a player's psyche for how they play. If your manager has faith in you, I think you play better. If you're getting put on as I hope he does well, I think that's going to make you worry about your performance a little bit more, which is going to, it's that back of the mind kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna stick with a B minus because I don't think it was a terrible move, honestly. Lucas, B. It's about time.
Yeah.
He did what he could do for the club. Gotta get out of there.
Yep.
Ndombele. I give it a C because I liked Ndombele. I don't think he had the right chance to show his potential. I don't think he had the right environment to show his potential. And that's not his fault, especially the environment part of it. Spurs have been in and out of managers for the last, 4 years now? 4 years? I know it's at least 3.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily blame Ndombele for having troubles where he had troubles. But I do still give that a C rating because if he's not performing, got to do something about it.
I'm gonna leave it at C as well. I think that's a very average.
And Lele. B. Yeah, B minus. B minus. He was on loan to Barca. I think they should have retained him just for the depth. Same reason I had for Sanchez. I think they need them extra legs just for safety. Because I think right now, if a serious injury were to occur with anybody in that back line of the Spurs team, I think they're panicking. And then one that is a bit different from the rest of all the transfers we talked about, and Pastanoglu. Sorry. Yeah, that is an A plus 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 plus. Dude has already reimagined that team and how they play. If you take that Jose Mourinho 2017 era team, I think when they had Dele Alli, Eriksson, Kane, Son, Lucas, I think that's a title charge team. I think even right now, they are a title charge team. Not a strong one, but a team that will be in that top 4. And I mean solidly top 4. I have a lot of faith and a lot of worry about them. If we couldn't beat Spurs at home without Pastanoglu, I'm a little worried to play Spurs at home with Pastanoglu as a City fan. Not gonna lie, I don't want to watch that game.
To be fair,
you're looking at a lot of preseason shit right now. That does not matter to me.
No, this starts right around here. The only big 6 teams that Tottenham have played is Manchester United.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
That's it. So I'm curious to see if this holds against.
Now that
all
you
of the
say
other
that,
top flight teams.
I am curious to see how they play against us because Spurs, especially if we're playing away against Spurs, they've always been a team that give us trouble. So I am quite intrigued to see how we play against them this year at Spurs. But overall grade, I give them a B plus,
Yeah.
mostly because of age. I'm not gonna lie, they didn't get Pastanoglu. It's probably a C plus, B minus is what I'm giving them, but B plus for sure. Now, the elephant in the room, if you will, Chelsea. First on the list, Moise Caicedo. I still give it a B plus. I'm gonna take that back. I give it a B for the price tag in one season in the Prem.
I give it a C.
Fair.
One season in the Prem and price tag. And form as of
Oh God,
point.
we taking form into consideration. Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you on C.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna agree with you on C.
For that reason alone, from what I've seen, I'm gonna only go C.
Romeo Lafia.
B plus. I agree with the B
Yeah,
plus.
I go with my B plus because
he
he
hasn't
hasn't
played
had the exactly.
yet, but I think he's.
I'm gonna stop. Well, no, I'm gonna stick with the B plus because of this price tag. 50 mil in today's market is a decent fucking price tag for a player with the possibility that Lavia has. Yeah, I think they made a good move on that. Christopher Nkunku,
A plus. Yep.
absolute
100%.
fucking A plus.
When he gets back and he's not injured and he actually plays consistently.
I don't want to play against him. I hope we have our first game against Chelsea, which I know we will. It's in October. I know Christopher Nkunku is not going to be back by then. Yeah, I'd like that first game to be without Nkunku. Which those are actually the only 3 inbounds I have, even though they've had a lot of inbounds. A lot. And they've had a lot of outbounds. Yeah, I didn't put out for any of those, but except for the last one.
Well, Nicola Jackson's in. Cole Palmer's in. Jason Steele is in.
Oh, okay. No. I don't. Yeah, my mind was just not on the right page there.
Cole
Palmer.
Average of B for all of those. Yeah, I'd stick to an average of B. I'd say actually C.
For Cole?
I'd give C to all of those. Cole Palmer, Nicola Jackson, and Jason Steele all getting.
I hear you.
The average, the mid.
Cole Palmer, I gave a B minus, and I stick with that very heavily because he hasn't shown enough for City to where I think he's gonna come out there and be their starting right winger that's gonna do bits for him. However, I think by mid-season this season or beginning of next season, I think he's a starting player. I think he's a starting right winger for Chelsea, and I think he's a dangerous one. I think Cole Palmer has some of the most potential on this list for transfers outside of Nkunku. Take away Nkunku, I think Cole Palmer has one of the highest ceilings. And that might be me as a City fan, kind of giving him a little bit more leeway. But I've seen Cole. I've seen him play. I've seen what he can do. So I have a lot of faith in that sense. Nicholas Jackson. I'm gonna give it a B minus. I'm sorry, you got too many strikers. Wait. Yeah, no, I give it.
He's a striker.
No, I know he's a striker, but I'm trying to think of who all their strikers are. No, I give it a B. I was kind of mixing up Arsenal's whole striker situation going on out there. No, yeah, I give it a B. I think he could show out to be well, but he again right at the start of the season has not shown to be him. Not that guy. And if that's the case, then yeah, dude, it's not a good transfer. Not a good transfer. Jason Steele being next, B plus.
C. I still give him a C. It's a very.
I give it a B plus. But A for the fact that Kepa is out of there.
Yeah.
B for the fact that their other goalkeeper is out of there. They don't have a goalkeeper before him.
Yeah, he is the only keeper.
That's an A signing. I'm sorry, that's an A signing. You needed him. You actually needed him. They needed a goalkeeper. Is he the worst option? No. Is he the best option? No. Is he a good option for the price though?
That's good. That's why I'm saying C. C with potential, but
I'm gonna go B plus.
I have to see him. I have to see him play a little bit.
I'm not gonna give him an A. I'm gonna give him a B plus because what I have seen already of him, some solid stops. Some solid stops in there. I'm gonna give him a B plus, like I did originally. Cool. With the potential for that being better.
Yeah.
They needed a solid goalkeeper. Jason Steele definitely showed some class at the end of last season. Now to the outward players of Chelsea, which this is kind of the more exciting part for me. Kai Havertz out. We've already talked about him. B minus. Get him the fuck out of there, dude. He's not good. He's not good. He's a fraud, just like Potter was for Chelsea. He's a fraud, and he didn't even have a good spell at Arsenal. Or oh well, no, just kidding. He did have a good spell, exactly like Potter. You saw some good results out of him. You were like, let's splash some money on that, and you got shit. Exact same situation as Potter, if you ask me. Um, Thoughts?
I would say that's more of a
I agree with
B
it.
getting him out
I agree
there,
with it.
and the price that they got.
Also very good price. I believe 79 million euros.
Something along the line.
Yeah. Next on the list, I've got Mason Mount, which I think is a worse transfer move for Chelsea. I had a lot more faith in Mason Mount personally than I did Kai Havertz, so I gave it a D plus. He's your childhood player.
I give that one a C. Yeah, I give that one a
Fair.
C, and the only reason I give it a C is because he was an academy player, and they did get rid of him, and it's always nice to keep those academy players.
That Champions League winning drive the season they had though, he was a pretty big part of it.
He did play well.
So was Kai Havertz though. Let's be fair on that. So was Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz was a very big part of that Champions League winning squad.
But I feel like Mount had more standout performances.
I think Mount overall was a bigger player for that squad. I will agree with that. Kovacic, I give it a C minus. Solid player. Don't think you guys needed to give up that. I'm gonna give it a D plus actually. I'm gonna give it D plus for he was a solid player for your time at the time for you in the midfield. Um, didn't need to go for the experience. Like his experience could have definitely helped that younger midfield for Chelsea right now. I think. And then you give him to a rival. I think that's what really kind of shits the bed for this grade for me.
Yeah, that's fair.
Is that you not only give him to a rival, you didn't give him to Tottenham, you didn't give him to Manchester United, you gave him to the team that's already won 3 fucking Premier Leagues in a row.
Yeah.
You are doing nothing but strengthening us where we just lost a player, a very vital player, which is why I give them a solid D, not even D plus, straight D.
Yeah, I think I'm going to agree with you, purely on the fact of where they sent him to.
Well, I guess that transfer, not their window altogether, but yeah, just that transfer, straight D. Pulisic out.
I mean, that's a great move for him.
Yeah, great A plus move for Pulisic. A plus move.
He just didn't get playing time over there, and
for Chelsea, as an American, I want to give it a D.
I say that's a C.
I'm gonna give it a C though, because realistically, they have a lot of very talented forwards.
Yeah,
very good, capable forwards. So yeah, it could have been worse on that note. I think they should have held on to him for a little bit longer. They could have, because I'm sure that I'm sure that Christian was ready to get out of there as well. That always takes pretty heavy hold on how that goes down. Eduardo Mendy, picking him up for 1 year basically, letting him go. I said C originally. I'm sorry, yo, that's a D. That's a D, maybe even an F. You got your neck slapped. You didn't get the money back out of him for the sale. And I'm not sure how much they paid for him, but I'm pretty sure it was in the range of 70 to 90 million.
I think it was 70, closer to 60.
Hang on. That's his salary. So they got 16 million for him. Why is this so hard? Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough. They sold him for 17, bought him for 22. Look at that $5 million difference. Which I say that, and it hurts my brain to say only a $5 million difference. Kyle?
That was an incredible touch.
Kyle? Senor Walker? Let me see this. Let me see this. Alright, after seeing what they bought him for and what they sold him for, yeah, I'm gonna stick with C, because they really didn't lose much money off of him. I think it was a needed transfer. Lukaku.
Everybody's getting their neck slapped with him. To be
Yeah,
honest.
what do you grade that? What do you
I mean,
grade
that's an A getting rid of him. So I'd give him a B. I'd give him a B.
No, I give that. Oh no, was that your grade for the club? Because
For no, for
for
Lukaku.
Lukaku, I was like,
Yeah.
I still got two more transfers to go to, brother. I definitely give the selling of Lukaku a straight A. There's no reason in God's green earth that any team that's already dealt with this man over the last 3-4 years should want anything to do with him. He's a problem. He's a problem for the club.
Yeah.
That every club he's been on lately, he's been a serious issue for. So honestly, I'm gonna say A plus. Get him the fuck out of that team. And I hate Chelsea. Get him the fuck out. A plus. Kepa. What you got?
I think that's a good move. Like I said, they brought in Steele, Jason Steele. So, and he just really didn't. I don't know. He just didn't strike me as that guy at Chelsea. But apparently Madrid see enough in him.
He saved them in like 3 really big title games, like cup games.
I mean, that's a great move for him. So
Personally, letting Kepa go, man, I gave it a B, but I don't know where the fuck I was thinking with that, because with Jason Steele really being your only goalkeeper, that's it. That's it. Proven in any bit. Jason Steele's that's who you're gonna run with. Who I don't think it's a terrible choice, but uh oh, that's off. By himself, I give that Kepa move a C minus, maybe a D plus, because I think they could have kept Kepa as some depth. And then our last transfer of the list, N'Golo Kante.
yeah, that was
I
a
gave it
very
a
surprising one.
I gave it a C minus, but I take that back, dude. Like I said, he's been riddled with
He
injuries.
has been injured and riddled with injuries.
Riddled with him over the last 2 years. I give it a B plus, maybe even an A minus, because I don't think he had much time left on that Chelsea squad, even if he wasn't injury ridden with his age. I think he had another 2 years max performing at that level.
Yeah.
So getting your money for him now before he either leaves on a free, or leaves for basically nothing, I don't think it's a bad move. I'm gonna give it a C.
Yeah.
Maybe C plus.
I give him a C plus.
Overall, great for Chelsea. What you got? I don't have anything yet.
I give him a B. I think the people that they offloaded and the people that they brought in, I think they're good signings. We'll just see how they plan out.
I'm gonna give that shit a C. I think his shit was mid as fuck. Y'all could have done better. I'm sorry. You spend $1 billion in 18 months. That's the transfer window you give me over 3 months. Nah,
it's the
C
dollar amount
minus.
spent.
Honestly, C minus.
It's
Yeah,
the
for the dollar amount.
spent.
The dollar amount y'all spent, and yeah, I'm using dollars, pounds, euros. I don't care what currency. The amount you spent is rubbish.
Yes.
Trash. Bullocks. Awful. Do better. Do better, Todd Bowley. But that's all we got for you this week on the Premier Boy Soccer Podcast. We do have a very exciting one next week for you. We'll be back on. No, not next week. Not next week. We will not be back on our normal Premier League catch up next week. We're taking 2 weeks off. Deal with it. Next week, we will, however, be touching on our revitalized Premier League table predictions after 4 games. Because we all know it all changes a little bit after those first 4 games.
Oh, yeah.
But We will catch you guys next week. I appreciate you all for joining. Our one viewer who is tried and true down there. Clips will be up throughout the week. Keep up with us on. Oh God, that man just dropped. Keep up with us on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, X, and obviously TikTok. Why did I say obviously TikTok? That is like I hate TikTok. Anyways, obviously keep up with us on Instagram. Yeah, that's all I really got for us, brother. You want to send us off?
See you next time.